Hi, this is Seema. Well, we're all in lockdown, and with coronavirus being what it is, I think that the mood is quite somber, and it's the perfect time to start talking about stuff that inspire us. And one thing that I've always committed, whether that's a training workshop or whether that is a coaching exercise that I'm in, or whether I'm doing video logs like this right now, is that anything that I share with you as a story or as an example will be the absolute truth. So today I'm going to share with you a story about how something very tragic and bad news with really terrible forecast actually turned out to be quite fine. And hopefully, this will motivate everybody here because we have all received bad news on what it's going to be in the next few months. And of course, the aftermath of the corona won't be too great on the economy. Definitely not on hiring and everything else that businesses care about. Okay. But there is always a better way of looking at things. So let's start. 1999. I had my second baby. Her name is Anoshka Divakar. And my little baby was born absolutely healthy. But within a matter of few months, I noticed that there was a little problem there with one of the limbs. There was one limb that wasn't growing at the speed of the other limb. And this actually meant that one was thinner than the other and tad smaller as well. We ran, pediatrician to pediatrician, and every doctor just gave me the same diagnosis and the same prognosis, saying that she might not walk as well and as normally as kids should, and definitely running is going to be a problem. Athletics is going to be a problem, and I'm an athlete. I'm a sprinter, so for me, not doing and being part of sport is like a scary proposition. And childhood is equal to sport. So not being able to do that is like a crazy handicap. They also told me that the the delta was like a good half an inch, and in all probability, she might end up wearing shoes of two different sizes. And the only way to really help the child was to put her through physiotherapy. And that meant extensive massages and whatever else that goes with the physiotherapist's schedules and plans. It was about 3 times a week for 5 years. And those were like really tough years of my life. So I couldn't afford it, and I couldn't see how I can, take the child, go off to the other side of the city, and make this happen. So as a mother, I became very resolute. This is something that I'm going to conquer. I've done stuff before. I'm going to do this. And I don't advise this. Please understand. I am not advising that you disregard what the medical fraternity tells you to do. It was a choice I made because I didn't have a better choice, and my situation wasn't so great at the time. So, well, I started to study Ayurveda, and I began studying massage therapies, which are ancient, known facts in Vedic sciences. So, my interest in Ayurveda actually began around this time. I think I transformed into a nurse, come a therapist, come a nutritionist, come some kind of a soul saver somewhere, because I didn't want my daughter to be raised thinking she has a problem. I made it a point to make her feel wonderful about herself. So one of the things that I would tell her is that she's one of the most beautiful girls I've ever seen, and she was my sunshine, she was my sunset, and she was everything in between. There was a little thing that I borrowed from, I think, a cartoon, and it goes on to say, I am the rising sun and I am the setting star. And I made her by heart this, so she kind of believes that she is everything that she needs. And slowly in time, I noticed that my child was okay with the walking, although there was a little limp. I made sure that the clothes she wore didn't really bring focus on this gap that the two legs had. And made sure that she was playing sport all the time. I mean, I'm a very sporty mom, so whatever the game, and I'm very rough, extremely rough. generally, even otherwise. So they've been kicked and beaten up and pushed, and there has been random uncertified karate kung fu, and they've had to defend themselves against me, and I can be notorious. So the girl got stronger and stronger and stronger, like really physically fit, at least fit enough to fight me back. And by the time she was 5 years, those therapies that I was putting her through and the kind of stuff that I did to her head, where she really thought that she doesn't have a problem. She's never even realized that she had a problem, and that to a problem that was so grave with this kind of a prognosis. By age 5, she was doing everything that a 5-year-old was capable of doing. In fact, she ran and she actually came back with an award or two. When she was 8 or 9, the gap between the legs actually reduced to becoming so marginal that you have to really stare to say, yeah, there's a problem. One is thinner and possibly smaller than the other. I won. It took me 8 years, 8 years of dedicated focus. And the kind of training that I put into this child's mind was so intense that by the time she was about 15, she actually got it tattooed on her wrist, and it reads Bucci Queen. She could not say that she's a beauty queen, and her pronunciation ended up with calling herself as Bucci Queen, which is why it reads as Bucci Queen with the with the error. But what I have created, therefore, is a very formidable girl child who is now formed into a young woman, and she has the spirit of a spitfire, nothing short of a dragon. And I love that spirit because that's that spirit that helped her fight a almost fatal accident last year. And today I believe that we can be given bad news. Bad things can happen to you. Sometimes it almost looks like the cosmos is engineering things to hurt you, to disturb you, to break your wherewithal and your faith in yourself. But you know what? When you have trained your mind and you take bad news like water off a duck's back, nothing destroys you. You are indestructible. And with that, you start gaining that level of faith in yourself. They can break you, but they will never make it, because the only one who makes it is you. Stay inspired, stay strong, and together I'm sure that we will come out of this pandemic too. Thank you.